What if your body was a gift and contribution to your life and not something that you've been stuck with? What if your body could change quickly and easily? Right Body for You will inspire you and show you a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Now here's your host, Donnielle.
And welcome to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Thank you so much for joining me today on this radio show called Right Body for You. And, I have so much fun doing this radio show. And Right Body for You is not just a radio show. It's also a book. It's also a series of workshops, taster classes, and private sessions. And Right Body for You is such a fun, amazing set of energies and tools. It is a part of a larger company called Access Consciousness. And all of the Access Consciousness and Right Body for You tools work on the energetic level. It's like if we could have thought our ways out of it, we would have. But what if there were energetic blocks that were actually keeping us from creating what it is we desire, the change we desire? And one of my favorite things, what points of view do we have that are limiting what we are actually attempting to create in our lives or attempting to create in our bodies? That if we change those simple points of view, if we're willing to see the other side of things, and it's a little bit more than, walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. It's a little bit more than that, because sometimes the shoes you're looking at walking in are yours. Okay, so it's like if you could see the other side of your own point of view, what could you create? What could you shift? What could you change? Okay, and some of this is what I'm talking about today with the show. Sometimes titles of radio shows just make me giggle, and this is one of them. The title for today's show is P.S. You're Not a Bear. I know, right? Just in case you hadn't gotten that memo yet, just in case you went, I am awfully furry, and I do like to scratch my back on a tree. That may be the case. You're still not a bear. Just FYI. And if you are a bear, please send me an email. I would love to hear from you if you are a bear listening to Right Body for You. That would actually make my day. Feel free. Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Send me, if you're a bear, send me an email. But those of you who are not actually a bear, what we're talking about today is for a lot of the population on Earth. Australia right now, not so much. It's really warm down there. But for a lot of us, we're going into our cold season. And I don't mean cold as in cold and flu. I know some of you did think that. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I mean is fall, winter, those kind of seasons are coming on. Summer is coming to a close. And then fall. Seasons are changing. The leaves are falling. And it's that time of year where we start doing the nesting, where we start doing the hibernating for winter. This is why I said, P.S. You're not a bear. Bears may hibernate for the winter, but you don't actually have to, okay? And why I'm talking about this with bodies is I see this happen with so many people, including myself. I've done it in the past, where it's like fall's coming. And, as the summer's energy comes and leaves, things slow down. The summer has this fast pace, go out there, do it in the sunshine, and the molecules vibrate faster and all this kind of stuff. And then there are, here comes the fall, and, you stop and you look and you reflect and you're like, And so we tend to have this energy of slow down, and then comes winter and you freeze. Oh, wait a minute. That just might be because I live in Utah. Just kidding. But, there's that slow down aspect of it. Daylight during the day is shorter, well, in my part of the world. So you have less daylight. And so a lot of people think with the daylight that they are supposed to sleep more. If they don't have as much daylight, they're supposed to sleep more. It's darker, and I should have titled this P.S. You're not a bear or a cat, because I don't know about you, but my cats sleep all day long. She's asleep on my desk right now. I'm working. She's asleep on my desk. It's an interesting energy to have, is a purring, sleeping cat next to your keyboard. Like, try to work through that one. I built that muscle years ago because she always sleeps on my desk. So we do this. And so often we match our bodies with that, okay? Yes, people say there's a natural circadian rhythm of, your body, is faster during faster during summer, and then it slows down. And while it could, actually be that slow down or whatever, but how much of our point of view of our body has to slow down, and so therefore it's harder to change things, are we actually creating as stronger, faster, more slow than it needs to be? Okay? What about a way of being able to be with your body, prepare your body for the fall and the winter seasons, prepare being with your body so that you don't actually just put your body away for hibernation? Because truthfully, how many of us put our body into hibernation for the winter? Somebody in the chat, Julie, says she loves honey. That's true. So she may be a bear. I don't know. She does live in Colorado sometimes. We have a few bears there. I know. I was born in Colorado. Not born as a bear. You guys are silly today. So when we get into this season, how much have we bought that things have to stop, have to slow down? So many, it's like, oh, I'm waiting till the summer to do that. I'm waiting till the summer to do that. And, I've even done it with, like, I see road construction crews. And this is kind of what started me thinking it, is I saw somebody here the other day I'm in Utah, start a big road construction crew. And I went, wait a minute, they better get this done before snow starts falling, because, you don't get much done during the winter season. And I went, well, that's an interesting point of view. Like, where did that even come from, that I thought that nothing much gets done during the winter? Yes, you could say because I was looking at outside things and whatnot, but here's the thing. We say something like that, the energies don't usually make those caveats, those places where we go, oh, I just mean for outdoor things or whatever. It's like, have you ever heard of skiing? Things don't actually have to stop when you come into winter. And somebody in the chat room said, I've totally bought that slow down for winter stuff. What would it take to change that? Well, I have tips for you. That's why we're here. Thank you very much. How many of us have bought it? Yeah. So if you guys have never joined us in the chat room, I highly suggest you do. It is so much fun. You go to a2zen.fm, go up under the menu in the chat room, and then you can put in your name or any name, whatever you'd like. And then you can ask questions. You can make comments right now because somebody talked about love honey. Christine is in there singing honey in the morning, honey in the evening, honey at supper time. Be my little honey and love me all the time. She said it was a song her mom sings to her. So there you go. This is what you're missing when you're not in the chat room. So please do consider coming into the chat room. You don't have to download anything. The most difficult thing you have to do is put in a name. You can put in any name. One time I was listening to Christine's show, Inspired Choices, and I think I put Smartass Commentary as my name. I can't remember. Something like that. So what I've prepared for you today, what I've prepared for you are some tips to really start looking at this. Do we have to slow down? And what does that mean? And what does that actually create for our body when we are doing this slowdown? Okay. What does it do to our body? Why am I saying this is something that we don't necessarily have to do? Because Yes, I said that there's those, you know, circadian rhythms or, whatever it is of things have a season, have an ebb, have a flow. And it's like true. And you know what? Whenever I've been in Australia at this time of year, my body doesn't seem to have a problem going, oh, it's summer. That works. Okay. Woohoo. And then the next week I'm back in Utah and it's cold in winter and my body goes, okay, cold in winter. That's fun too. So how much that our body has a natural, quote unquote, natural rhythm that we have to function through and from is actually a creation. Okay? I'm not kidding or exaggerating when I say that I've been to Australia when it's summer here, winter there, and vice versa, and my body hasn't had any problem. I dress appropriately because my body doesn't like frostbite. So if it's hot, I wear different clothes. If it's cold, I wear a coat because trust me, it's sorry, dropped my phone. It likes the warmth. Like last night in the middle of the night, it was kind of cool here. Woke up in the middle of the night, put a blanket on. It was awesome. So with that, how much of our point of view of winter's coming, must buckle down, must be like those little squirrels and, stock up for the winter, store things, the little nuts in the pantry when, I don't know about you, but the nuts I think I'm storing in the pantry is my sanity somewhere else because I'm pretty sure I'm nuts most of the time. And you guys don't have to agree with me, please. Please, you don't have to agree with me. But how much of that point of view of things have to slow down, and including our body. Why I keep harping on this is, are we being kind to our bodies when we're asking it to slow down, or are we actually harming it when we're asking it to slow down? Okay. We're going to take our first little break. When we come back, I want to expand a little bit upon what happens with our bodies when we go, oh, it's slow down time. Okay. What happens with our bodies? What happens with our ability to shift and change things when we're functioning from that as our point of view? Okay. So we're going to take a quick little break. This is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You on a2zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on a2zen.fm.
Check out the new ringtones from Access Consciousness.
What is it possible? What is it possible? Smoking hot. Smoking hot.
And everyone's favorite,
Take a pass. Take a pass.
download the latest and hottest accessory. Go to accessconsciousness.com/ringtones for all the details on how to download to your iPhone today.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at a2zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. This is your host, Donnielle. And again, I encourage you to join us in the chat room. We are on quite the tangent today. We're having a lot of fun in there. Please do join us. a2zen.fm. look under the menu for chat room and type in any name you want, at least one that you want to be called on. Speaking of names, something I hear a lot is great tools, great information, please a little bit more about you. So because I'm usually just so excited to get to the topic of the show and give you guys some information that I tend to forget to introduce myself. So let me take a little moment. My name is Donnielle. I have been working in radio, interestingly enough, for, golly, hold on, let me do some math, 20-some years. Wait, 20-some years? 30-some years. Yes, 31 years, something like that. My mom was a nutritionist, and she did a health talk radio show for a lot of those years. And so I cut my teeth on radio and bodies. Wow, that just sounded bad. But I got my start in radio and bodies at a very, very early age. I worked with her at her seminars. I worked with her in her radio shows. My Saturday mornings as a teenager from the age of 12 on was answering phones, running radio boards, screening calls, doing commercials, all kinds of things. And it all had to do with bodies because my mom was a nutritionist. So she had all these amazing people on each week. I called them my mother's experts, and they came through and they did so many amazing tips, amazing modalities, and ways to shift and change and help bodies. It was an interesting environment to grow up in. And so, of course, what did I do as a daughter of a nutritionist who got to see all these amazing people each week? I went the other direction. For the longest time, I hated the fact that I had a body. I thought it was probably the one thing that was the weakest spot of my life. You know, my life was pretty good. I was intelligent. I was successful. I did my job well. If only I could get my body working right, I would be happy. If only I could get my body the right size, I would find a man, I would get married, I would be happy. You know, if my body was only like this, I could dress the way I wanted to. If only, if only, if only. And it was always followed by, if only my body was something else, then I would be happy. So what was really, really exciting, and I was successful, you know, as a promotion manager for a TV station. And so I was head of, you know, promotions and production. So commercials, promos, yes, everything you see in between the segments of the TV shows that you watched, I was responsible for. You're welcome. And so I was quite successful in having a career at that. But what was interesting is I knew I wasn't making the world a better place. At the end of the day, I knew I had invited people to judge them, to determine that they weren't good enough if they didn't buy these things, if they didn't watch these things, if they didn't emulate these different kinds of people. And so it's a longer story, but the short version is I quit so I could help my mom take care of her parents while they were dying. And after that, I started helping my mom with her radio show again. And we had these people on, this gentleman named Dr. Dane here, who's actually the co-creator of Access Consciousness and the co-creator of Right Body for You. And he was on the radio show, and it really piqued my interest for the first time. You know, I had spent most of my life listening to amazing people talk about bodies, things to change them, things not to change. And what's interesting is he didn't even really talk about bodies in the radio show that he did, the 1 hour. But what he did talk about was about empowering and the energy and the tools of Access Consciousness, how they are quick, they're easy, and they are something that you can use immediately, that you don't have to wait for somebody else, which always really kind of intrigued me. So when Dane was talking about Access Consciousness, it was really the first time I had heard people talk about tools that way, and that changing the body includes the awareness and the consciousness of the body. And I was like, what? Ask the body for stuff. What are you talking about? And so, like I said, I had spent most of my life hearing these amazing people doing fantastic work, helping thousands upon thousands of people, and they still are. And this was the first modality or those set of tools or anything I had heard that everybody said that involved the body in aspects of changing it, of helping it to grow, to shift, to change. And so for me, I was like, oh, so I took the classes. 8 years later, here I am talking to you. Yes, obviously more stuff happened throughout the 8 years. You know, Gary asked me to be involved with Right Body for You and a bunch of other things. And it's a whole other story, but it's just, you know, people ask me all the time, well, who are you? And that's the quick, dirty version of who I am. You know, Christine McIver, owner of the station, as well as she does her own radio show, Inspired Choices, did a Who the Heck is Donnielle radio show with me on Right Body for You. That was actually a fun one. It was a full hour for interviewing me, and she asked me some fun questions, things I hadn't thought of. So that's in the archives if you would like to know more. Okay. So, and the reason I'm going into this, who I was or what I was, for several things besides people always going, you never introduce you. Besides that, what was it really interesting is what I used to do with my body and my life when I was working in TV is I would slow the molecules down. You know, some people before they take the first Right Body for You or Access Consciousness class, they talk about how they were sad, unhappy, and they were going to kill themselves and things like that. And what was interesting is I was like, well, I never wanted to kill myself. And then I realized I was so not even alive, barely enough to even cognitively think about doing something like killing myself because I was not even really there. And when I was talking about slowing my molecules down, is I was slowing my molecules down to a point where my body was having a hard time functioning. Because if you take a moment and just be really present with your body, you can actually feel the life force, the vibration, the movement of your body. Even if you're, quote unquote, not moving a muscle and you're just sitting there, you can feel the energy flowing in your body. You can feel the molecules shifting and changing and moving. You can feel your blood. You can feel the heat. You can feel that life pulsing through your body, okay? So when I was working in TV, not only was I gaining a lot of weight and hiding that way, I was also slowing my molecules down. So if I had taken a moment then and stopped and been aware with the life of my body, it would have felt more like this than really anything. You know, yes, you know, you get up and you kind of move around and you just kind of have that slow pace. And it's like I was a sloth, right? But at least sloths have more movement, more life than I did then, okay? It was really just kind of slow, kind of not doing anything and with my body, and I was still accomplishing a lot, but there wasn't much joy, there wasn't much anything, it's just what it was. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Which is interesting because my normal pace, my usual pace, is fast. You know, two of the things... Yes, it is hard to listen to. It was hard to live, too. Somebody in the chat room said, oh, my gosh, that was hard to listen to. Yes, it was hard to live it, too. One of the two things I hear from my workshops all the time, or three things, is besides, you know, they love them, they have a good time, and they really shift and change things, is that I'm very sarcastic, and I talk really fast. And it was interesting that I had, during that time, had slowed my molecules down so much that I was actually hampering my ability to create life, create my life, create a living, create fun, create joy, okay? So I tell this part of the story because it's like, how much do we do this when winter sets in? Oh, it's time to hibernate. It's time to slow things down. And so we go from the summer fun, this, that, whatever. We're going here. We're doing that. We're having so much fun. Life, to, okay, it's winter. Need to slow down and kind of ease through it. Things like that. So it's like, what are we actually doing to our bodies as well when we are doing this? Okay? What are we actually doing to our bodies? It's a shade of what I was doing to my body. I mean, granted, I was living in Wisconsin at that time when I was really slowing my body down. And for those of you who don't know, Wisconsin is cold in the winter. I thought I knew what cold was when I lived in Utah and Colorado. Oh, no. Then I moved to Wisconsin. Wow. In Wisconsin, we have some cold, and lots of snow. Okay? So besides the fact that I was living there, it was also that slowing down, just 24/7. So when we're slowing ourselves down for winter, how much do we also slow down our ability to be aware? Slow down our ability to create. Because you look at it, the rhythms of winter is like, get a good book, just get in front of a fire with a blanket, and just, And don't get me wrong, some of those evenings, yummy, fantastic. But that doesn't mean you have to be that way the whole winter. How many of us are doing I can only do it during summer, and then during winter, I just freeze until the spring comes, and then we thaw, and then life returns. I don't know about you, but there's actually quite a bit of life as well during winter, okay? Somebody in the chat room said, yes, my usual pace is fast too. Absolutely. A lot of ours are, okay? So this is what I'm saying. These are the tips. We're going to take a quick little break, and then I'm going to start giving you these tips. But I'm just asking you to start look at when winter comes, when fall comes, how much do we slow down? How much do we go into that hibernation state? Things are just slower. Because, yes, the earth does have this energy of slowing down just a little bit. That doesn't mean that we have to. It doesn't mean that we can't create. It doesn't mean that we can't be active. It doesn't mean that we have to slow our lives down or our bodies down. But how often do we actually do that? More often than we probably do, okay? Or probably acknowledge, okay? So we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, I'm going to start giving you these tips of how to prepare you and your body for the winter, for fall, so you don't go into hibernation and stop living your life and creating, okay? This is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series. my gift to you. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at a2zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Thank you for joining us today. And as the title suggests, P.S., if you haven't figured it out, you're not a bear. And if you haven't joined us in the chat room, there's a debate on what actually makes you a bear or not. Whether the love of honey makes you a bear, whether the love of scratching your back on a tree makes you a bear. Whether you like to wear fur, whether you like to sleep, or, so if you haven't joined in the chat room, I do suggest you do. We always have a good time in there. But today we're talking about, yes, P.S., you're not a bear. Just because fall and winter are coming doesn't mean you have to store your nuts, which I know is not a bear thing, but you don't have to store your nuts, so you don't have to hunker down. You don't have to slow down. You do not have to go into hibernation. You don't have to slow your body down, because when you slow the molecules down, you also slow down the creation and generation of your life. What I'm actually inviting you to do with this is to ask questions about it, okay? And so I've put together a few little tips about how to acknowledge and become aware of this, of what your body is actually desiring and requiring, instead of buying into what everybody else is doing, okay? So one of the first things I suggest is podpocking everywhere you're aligning in green and resisting reacting to things slow down for winter and fall. And if you don't know the Access Consciousness tools, you can simply go, I destroy and uncreate anywhere I think that I have to slow down and that my body has to slow down. Okay? It's as simple as that. And if you know the Access Consciousness tools, which is ask a question, destroy and uncreate it, and then the clearing statement, I'll give you an example right now. Everywhere you aligned and agreed and resisted and reacted to fall and winter, things slow down, including me, my body, my life, and creation. Destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, buckle, nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And that can be as simple as that. And hey, look, we've already done all of number 1 together. Woohoo! I do love playing with you guys each week. All right, so number 2. Body, what kind of movement would you like to do? Okay? So many times with people, summer is full of activity. You go out, you do things, you have to be outside every single second, because that's what summer is all about. Is you're not stuck in the house. You're not hampered in by anything. It's like, get out, do things, because winter's coming, and then once winter is coming, you can't go as many places. You can't do as many things. Well, where did that mean that you had to just actually sit on the couch? Okay? So you want to ask, body, what kind of movement would you like to do? And you notice I'm not calling this exercise, because when you say, body, what kind of exercise would you like to do, it hears exorcise. It has that energy to it of like, get rid of the infinite, separate the infinite being from the body, and that there was a wrongness in there. So all it is body, how would you like to move? And like I mentioned earlier, skiing is a huge thing in the winter. You can do sledding, you can do rolling down the hills. Anybody ever really just roll down a hill in the snow? That's kind of fun. But also you can be inside. For me, just getting up and moving around from the computer is such an exciting movement for my body. So it's not even that, I have to go outside and be cold. What kind of stuff would you like to do inside as well? And again, this is just to get you to not be that bear in hibernation, to not just be that bear sitting on the couch. Will there be times of sitting on the couch or in front of the fire with hot chocolate or coffee or something like that with a book or a snuggle buddy or something and having a good time? Absolutely. But how many? It doesn't have to be months upon months of just sitting there. So body, what would be fun? What type of movement would be fun for you? Okay. And yes, it goes beyond exercise machines or anything like that. Get out the Twister game, start playing board games and things like that with your family or friends. I haven't played Twister in years, and how fun would that possibility be? Definitely gets you up and moving, right? So, excuse me, body, what kind of movement would you like to do? Again, it could just be games. It's just something, because what you're doing with this, it is more than just the physicalness of your body, okay? What we're also asking to do is the energy of creation to not stop. Because so many of us during this time of quote-unquote hibernation also stop our creations. Things are slower. Something that may during the summer take us a half hour to do, we may take 3 hours to do, because that's just the way it is right now. Just going to take a little bit longer. And so how much of our creative capacities do we also slow? Which is why I'm talking about this today, okay? So something like playing card games with your family can help you keep those creative energies and juices flowing and going, and how that can translate into your business or your life or your capacity to be aware. Because it's like, how much do we also slow down our awarenesses? It's like we're becoming those sloths. Like if you guys have seen that new movie Zootopia, when they tell a joke and they literally take like 5 minutes to laugh at the joke. How much do we become the sloths during winter? Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Instead of like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. Okay? Again, one of the things I love about the Access Consciousness tools and Right Body for You tools is it's getting to recognize the energy and how it affects not just one thing, but usually many, many things. And part of this is, if we have the point of view of everything slows down, are you also slowing down your life, your creation, your awareness? Yeah, you might be. So keeping something like card games or just chatting with friends and family actually keep those energies shifting and moving and flowing. This is what this is all about, is keeping energy moving, shifting and flowing, just because it's a blizzard outside. And have you guys ever noticed that a blizzard actually has a lot of energy to it, a lot of motion and a lot of movement? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So that is I don't know which one it is. Number 3, body, what do you require to keep warm? Okay. What do you require to keep warm? And it could be clothes, it could be movement, it could be, why I'm asking, it could be a number of things. It could be herb. It could be, who knows what. It's going to be individual for you and your body. But one of the things I hear so much is, it's hard to move because it's so cold. Okay, well, you know what? There are more ways than putting a blanket on and sitting in front of a fire to keep your body warm. Okay? So if you actually feel like the molecules of your body are slowing down because it's so cold and you're freezing, body truth, what do you require to keep warm? Okay? And what's interesting is some of the times it might surprise you what the awareness is. I've had it to where my body actually wants ice water in the middle of winter, but for some reason that kind of kicks up something. Again, there's no medical rhyme or reason for it, but it's like, body, what would you like to, keep warm, keep going? And it wanted ice water, and it felt and tasted amazing. And then I felt more alive. The energy was more present. I was able to actually shift and change things and keep things going. Okay. So somebody, yes, exactly. JP in the chat room said, when I said, body, what do you require to keep warm? And it said, another warm body. And then she switched to another sexy warm body. Yum. Catch the energy of that one? Guess what indoor activity she's doing this winter? I guess that could be outdoor activity, depending on where you're doing it. And everything that brings up story 9 credit. Right, shirts, boys, and beyond. Okay. Body, what is honoring of you today? Okay. And why I'm asking you to do this one is to really start including your body. Because one thing I've noticed is a lot of people kind of put their bodies away for the winter. You know, we're talking about that hibernation. It's like, yes, I'm still with my body, and I'm kind of all about the mind right now. I'm kind of all about the thinking because, you know, we can't really get out and do a lot. And so the body's kind of here, but the body's kind of not here. It's like I'm still feeding it, still putting clothes on it, but it's just freaking cold, so I'm just going to sit here and think and whatever. So body, what would be honoring of you today? And I'm asking you this so that you really start to include the body in your daily computation. Still, even though it's cold, even though it might be, you know, a blizzard, so you don't actually get to go outside, which I guess you could go outside during a blizzard. I'm not sure I would suggest it because it might be the adventure that you're not asking for. You might be asking for adventure, but maybe not that one. But just start to really acknowledge your body is still with you. Your body did not go into hibernation. And how much is it your point of view that's slowing your body down? If you didn't have the point of view your body had to slow down, would it actually slow down? And then what's interesting is after that, if you don't have the opinion that your body has to slow down, it might actually stay warmer. For those of you who tend to be like just really cold and everything during the winter or all the time, what if it's just the point of view about the slowness of it that is keeping it cold? I know. That one's kind of an odd one. I'm going to let you guys sit with that one for a second, see what comes up. Okay. So I can't even remember where we are with them. Sorry, I should really number these things. And interestingly enough, I really want you guys to start asking. Yes, I ask you all the time to say, body, what would you like to eat? And really, body, what would you like to eat? Because so often in winter, we start going, oh, we have to have hot foods. You know, for me, I used to go, oh, well, it's winter. I have to have stew, nice, warm, you know, home and hearth things to warm up the blood and blah, 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 blah. Oh, does your body actually desire stew? And what if you could eat stew when it's not cold? You know, I did that a couple of years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, my body was like, stew sounds so good. Stew would be amazing. What was my reaction? Not my body, but was my reaction? I'm like, it's summer. We can't do stew. That's a winter thing because it's nice and warm and, you know, warm, fuzzy for the winter. Well, says who? Okay? So really, destroy and uncreate anywhere we have winter foods, summer foods. What if it's just what your body's requiring? So any definition of seasonal foods, truth, would you guys be willing to destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, Papaco, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay. I do have one more, but we're going to take our quick last little break. And when we come back, I'm going to give you this last one that I have written down about tips and tricks for preparing your body for fall and winter, that you don't have to hibernate, and what else is truly possible. All right, so this is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at a2zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Today we're talking about P.S. You are not a bear. You and your body and your life does not have to go into hibernation just because the rest of the world says that you might have to slow down. Last segment we were talking about ask your body what it wants to eat, just because it doesn't have to be winter foods, summer foods. And in the chat room they were talking about when fall and winter are coming, they start to get the bug to cook and eat chili. And one person said, me too. And then another person said, wow, me too. Interesting. And it's like, I'm like, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, how many of us just step into these default activities, default ways of being, default ways of eating, default ways of energy, right? So this is what this whole thing is designed, is to start you asking questions about it, starting with the pod pocking everywhere you've aligned and agreed with it. Okay, so here is the last one that I suggest you do. How can I use this slowness to my advantage? Okay, and when I say this, it's still functioning from the kingdom of we. That place where kingdom of we includes everyone and everything. But it's like, how can you use this to your advantage? And what I mean is like, if you're able to not buy into the slowness of the season, can you still get things done? Can you still get things done faster than you expected? How can you use this to your advantage? And if other people are going slow, how can you use that to your advantage? How can you assist them? How can you assist you? How can you use this to your advantage? And everywhere you think, advantage is taking advantage of somebody doing something bad, that is not what I mean. Everything that is short and creative, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, with Falcon Eye shirts, boys and beyond. What I mean is, how can you use these energies to allow you to create and generate more? Okay? What if you have the awareness of this and, I don't know, do a radio show based on everybody being the slowness? I don't know. That might be a good idea. But how can you use this to your advantage? How can you help you to understand people, places, or things or whatever? But how can you use the slowness to your advantage? And here's the thing. I'm not saying the slowness is a wrongness. I'm just saying do it when it works for you, not because the rest of the world is doing it. Start to ask the questions about your body and your life. Just because the rest of the world may slow down doesn't mean your body has to slow down, doesn't mean your creations have to slow down, doesn't mean your life has to slow down. All it means is the earth has snow on it, or parts of it, right? Parts of the earth are very vibrantly active with sunshine and things. So it's like, Why would something be universally true if it wasn't actually universally true? If it was universally true, every continent and the entire planet would be having the same seasons at the same time. And you know what? It isn't. So why are we bowing to these things? Why are we saying, oh yes, well that's just the way it is? It doesn't have to be. And how can you use it to your advantage? What can you become aware of? Can you be uberly productive during the winter? What can you create and generate? And can you have fun with those slow moments and slow times? Absolutely. One of my favorite activities is sitting with a book or a warm body in front of a fire. That's not going to change because my body enjoys it. It just doesn't mean that it has to be that way for my entire life or the entire season. You don't have to be a sloth this season. So I hope you enjoyed these quick little tips. And P.S., you're not a bear and you're not a sloth. You may want to pretend to be a sloth every once in a while or a bear every once in a while, and you may love honey, but it doesn't actually mean you are a sloth or a bear, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this, and, I hope to see you sometime in a Right Body for You workshop. I get to facilitate these classes all over the world, and I have so much fun in them. We talk about bodies. You don't have to have a body problem to come. You don't even have to like your body. Right Body for You is actually about helping you to acknowledge that you have a body. Sometimes I'm like, I actually will do in the middle of the workshop and go, hi, Donnielle's body, Donnielle, and kind of help you introduce you. It's like Right Body for You helps Right Body for You introduces you to your body, okay? And what if it doesn't have to be a weak spot? What if it doesn't have to be the thing that is slowing down your life, okay? I have in November, I have workshops in London and Vienna, first time in Vienna. I'm very excited about that. In December, we have one in Dubai, as in United Arab Emirates, and Mumbai, India. First time in Dubai, second time in India. I'm so excited to be returning to India and playing in Dubai. So please check it out. You can go to Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com. And yes, Christine in the chat room, it's London, England in November. But you can sign up, you can find out more information. And as always, if you have any suggestions, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you and your body would like to know more about, I would love to hear from you. Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com, DONNIELLE at accessconsciousness.com. Like I said, check out my website, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE. I have some shows on there, some videos, some classes. Check it out. I redesigned the website a little bit ago, and it's fun. I like it. And if you would like a private session with me, if there's something you want to talk to me mano-a-mano, one-on-one with, please do let me know. There's a way to contact me through the website as well, and we can set up a time to do that. And all sessions are recorded, so you get an MP3 of it so you can listen to it again and again, and the processing will go deeper and deeper and deeper each time. So if you would like a session, and now is the time, please don't hesitate to contact me, and we will set something up no matter where in the world I am. We can do it over Skype or the phone, but we can play and have a good time. Thank you for joining me for this week's Right Body for You. It's always one of the bright spots of my week is to play with you guys. And I hope you make it a fun week. Make it a happy week. Enjoy your body because it's enjoying you. And I hope to see you here next week because guess what? I'll be here, and I hope you are too. Until I see you then, have a great one, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Right Body for You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A to Zen.fm. We hope you and your body will join us.